Hi! Welcome back to Genshin Impact. I don't know why we had to watch... What was his name? Laith? Something. I don't know why we had to watch her skip across the screen. But anyway, it's time for another story quest because at the moment I do not have anything else event-wise available. And looking at it, the story quests keep adding up to the point that I think I'm probably not going to finish all 10 of these before the next regional update comes out. But anyway, today we're going to be doing Felice Fuscus. I'm very sure I'm saying that wrong. Chapter Act 1 with Lenny. Lenny! Set the quest. So, the Forgotten Thief, the Phantom Thief's reappearance. The bustling streets at the Court of Fontaine seem more lively than usual. Why not take a walk around? Let's navigate. And go a little bit closer. We're in Fontaine, so we don't have to travel far, but yeah, if we can get a little bit closer, I would like to get a little bit closer. Talk to Charlotte. We start off talking to Charlotte? You know what? Maybe going this direction wasn't the best idea because if it triggers the cutscene right now, we might die. Okay. We didn't die. Sorry, Paimon. Didn't mean to cut you off.
So you believe that this warning letter was sent by the Phantom Weasel?
Warning letter? Phantom Weasel? There's a Phantom Weasel?
Absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Phantom Weasel never acts as you expect. He must have faked his own death 10 years ago using a body double. Now that he's back, I'm sure the guards who worked on his case back in the day are in for a headache, but however this turns out in the end, the one thing it won't be is boring.
What if it is, though?
Couldn't agree
What if it's
more.
very boring?
As a journalist, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of this one.
How many
Thank
miles?
you, sir, for your time. Now, whom should I interview next? Huh? Hey! What a coincidence! Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, so fancy. I'm going to do a curtsy.
Perfect timing. So,
I'm not
the
doing a curtsy.
Phantom
I'm sitting on a
Weasel's
chair.
latest warning letter. What are your thoughts?
Phantom Weasel? Warning letter? Let's do Phantom Weasel.
Yeah, this is the first time we're hearing of this one. Could you clue us in?
Yeah, we're not from around here.
Oh, sorry. Yes, this case is from a decade ago. I guess you wouldn't know about it.
Of course we wouldn't.
Well, not to worry. You're in good hands because I'm a professional. The story goes like this.
Spill.
10 or so years ago, a phantom thief became active in the Court of Fontaine.
Ooh.
Known only as the Weasel. Nobody knew his true identity, and the authorities never managed to catch him.
It couldn't be Lenny.
Wow.
Because Lenny would be too young.
Cool. He sounds like one of those mysterious night burglars that you read about now.
Unless he was an amazing thief as a child.
Precisely. Well, except the part where they actually have a good reputation. Our Weasel targeted whatever people held dear, and no one was safe from his predations. He would just as soon steal a necklace from a rich merchant's safe as he would a toy doll given to a commoner child for their birthday.
Wow. Sounds like an absolute weirdo. And a jerk.
I know. The phantom thieves you read about in novels rob the rich to pay the poor, but this guy did not discriminate. Unsurprisingly, this didn't work wonders for his public reputation.
I want to say
Dog
it's
wanted
good
to
he
see
doesn't
him
discriminate,
behind
but
bars.
Yeesh.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Did they catch him?
No, or
exactly.
else we'd know the name, right?
There's a good chance that the Weasel would still be at large to this day if it hadn't been
Unless
for
his
an
name was like
accident
Wesley
10
or just like, it's
years
just
ago.
easier to call him Weasel.
A magician named Caesar fell to his death in a botched high-altitude escape performance.
So they think
Police
Caesar is
went
him?
Through his personal effects, they found a hoard of stolen loot and gadgets used for criminal activities. And that was how the Phantom Weasel's identity was revealed to all. Sure enough, thefts in Fontaine went down after Caesar's death. But today, 10 years on, the notorious thief has once again issued one of his warning letters and pasted it on the gate of the Opera Epiclese for all to see.
What if Caesar was Lenny's
I had
birth
to race to
father?
the crowd this morning to get a photo as soon as I heard. Here, it's this one.
Can you translate it for me? I don't know that language.
So, this is the warning letter, huh? Let's see what he wrote. 3 days from now, when evening falls, I shall take from you that which you hold most dear at the Opera House, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
You know, I was expecting this to rhyme. I'm
is,
kind of disappointed.
Without a doubt, a clear declaration of criminal intent. After years of laying low, the Phantom Weasel is back with a vengeance. What once seemed like an open and shut case has been blown wide open again. But why has he reemerged now? And what does he want? I sense an epic scoop, and I'm going for it.
Could also just be a copycat.
Uh-oh. If this thief will steal anything that other people value, does that mean even we might be targeted?
He might steal all your favorite snacks.
Really? Oh, let him try. In fact, Hyman's gonna eat all our snacks right now. Let's see what he can do about that.
Don't get a bellyache.
Okay, the people have spoken. It's clear that the public are very concerned about the Phantom Weasel's reappearance.
Wait, you took that as concern?
Let's see, I've got a photo
Lenny!
of the letter, my interview notes. Yep, that should be enough to form the skeleton of my article. It does feel like something is missing, though. Something exclusive.
Dun dun
Who should I interview
dun.
next? I need someone with a more concrete connection to the weasel. Is that who I think it is?
She noticed Lenny. She gonna ask Lenny.
Lenny!
Yeah, Lenny. Looks like he's performing some magic.
Magic. Magician. Caesar! The Phantom Weasel! That's it! Let's go interview Lenny!
What, you think the Weasel is his inspiration?
You see, the original Phantom Thief Caesar was a magician too!
Uh-huh.
And what do Phantom Thieves and magicians have in common?
They're
They
both terrible
have
people?
an air of mystery about them.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps there's a connection there.
Are you serious? What sort of a deduction is that?
It was about as bad as my they're both terrible people
My journalistic
deduction.
instinct tells me that an exclusive news story is beckoning. Let's go.
Lenny's
No
actually
time
pretty
for
cool.
delay.
It's not like Child. Yo, what's up with that child? He ain't leaving. The Forgotten Thief. Hi, upsy daisy, right to another cutscene. Lenny!
Wow, Mr. Magician! How did you know which card I picked?
He marked them with a special
it's
ink.
simple. Come closer, and I'll let you in on my secret. Magicians have a special skill called telepathy, which means we can read other people's minds.
Really?
That's not telepathy.
Then, what am I thinking now?
Well, first you need to relax, because I can see that
Telepathy
you're
is to make
clenching
things
your fist
float.
in your mind, as if to
Telepathy
say,
is what he
no,
means.
I mustn't let him guess it.
Aww.
No. Telepathy? No.
And
There's a
now
different
you're
word.
getting a little
I just feel like I just said it in a different way.
You're
Like
trying to find a way to empty your mind, to think of nothing at all.
caramel.
But the more you try to hide a secret, the easier it'll come out. You snuck out from home today, didn't you? You told your family a little lie so you could come out and play. Now, that's not a good habit.
Did you just chitter like a hamster?
You can tell? Oh boy. You really can read my mind.
Of course. Oh, and that's the end of my performance. You should really be heading home. Remember to apologize to your family, all right? They must be worried about you.
All right, got it. Bye, Mr. Magician.
Bye, David. Be wary of any Goliaths.
Hey, Lenny?
Why, hello. We meet again.
Mhm.
Are you looking for me? What's the situation?
Well, why don't you guess, Mr. Telepathic?
Oh, please. You
Wait,
didn't
did I even
believe
have that wrong?
Spiel, did you? The power of telepathy is quite beyond me.
I'm sure that child would beg to differ. Seemed like you were right on the
Okay,
money.
he's right about telepathy. I was wrong about it. What is the ability to make things
That
float?
was nothing more than a little trick.
Telekinesis.
I made an educated
Frickin'.
guess based on his micro-expressions. That, plus the fact that he was the only kid here without his parents, and he looked as guilty as sin. He made it easy for me.
And what if he was an
You
orphan?
guys, on the other hand,
Wait, he probably would have been at his
let me
orphanage.
guess. Don't tell me you're here for the Phantom Weasel, are you?
Wow. Got it in
You really are telepathic.
Is this more of your trickery at work?
Probably.
Wait, really? No, no trickery this time. It was pure luck.
Uh-huh.
His warning letter's been the talk of the town, so I figured that maybe you were asking around about that.
Bingo! I plan on writing a column reporting on the latest news about the Phantom Weasel.
Wait, what number did he call out? I didn't get that on my bingo card.
What are your thoughts on this infamous thief's reappearance?
Yeah, she won anyway.
To be honest, it makes me angry.
Ooh.
Angry? Why?
Yes, why angry?
You read his letter, right? The Phantom Weasel claims he's planning something in 3 nights' time at the Opera House. That's the night I'll be performing there.
Oh, that's why you're angry. Or you're staging to steal something,
What are the chances?
but you performing as the cover.
Wait a minute, you don't think he's after you, do you?
He's gonna steal Lenny?
Well, if he is, then his warning is clearly a direct challenge to me personally.
We
And
can't
if
let him
he's
steal you,
not,
Lenny.
Then it's still going to be a huge headache for me. The mere mention of the Weasel's name is enough to scare people off. So once the contents of that letter get out, barely anyone will be showing up to watch my show. But I've been preparing for this for a long time. I'm not about to let him ruin my big day. This leaves me with only one choice. I have to expose the Phantom Weasel's identity before the show begins.
Ah, so we can't wait for 3
So
days'
what
time.
you're saying is, we might get to see a live duel between a famous magician and an infamous thief? Wow, this has exclusive written all over it.
Is Charlotte gonna be
To
with
be
us for this whole
honest,
entire
I'm not
chapter?
sure if I'll
episode
emerge the
quest?
victor. The Phantom Weasel is a notorious crook, infamous for his inscrutable methods.
So you don't look up to him.
Being far too modest, Linny. I think your magic tricks are even more inscrutable than those of a thief.
Thanks for the compliment, though I have to say I don't care much for the comparison. A lot of people liken magicians to thieves because we both have the ability to make things disappear without the person noticing.
And because they saw Now You
There's
See
an
Me.
important difference that these people overlook. Allow me to demonstrate with a quick magic trick. Here, I have a flower, just an ordinary flower that was picked not long ago.
How do we know that's true?
Watch it carefully now. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! There's a camera pan.
It's gone!
Where did it go? Is it behind Paimon's ear?
That's the question. Where did it go?
I know, I just asked that.
Therein lies the difference between us. Thieves make precious things disappear, but only magicians make them reappear.
Whose ear is it behind?
If I could now invite you all to check your clothes, there might be a surprise in there somewhere.
Wait, you put it in my drawers?
A surprise? Let me see!
It's on my lapel. Huh?
It's right there! But how? You haven't moved this whole time!
I'm constantly
What
moving.
an
What
outstanding
are you talking about?
trick! Sorry, Linny, it seems that
Not
my
see my body
previous
waving?
praise was woefully inadequate. Clearly, magic is the superior art form to
Almost like I'm
theft.
constantly doing a light
Don't
shrug.
worry, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to take the opportunity to perhaps change some of the preconceived notions you might have about magicians. Since Caesar's death, a lot of people associate magicians with criminality. It can be quite frustrating.
Yes, I suppose
I
it
can
could.
imagine. Coming back to your trick just now, might I presume that you are well versed in floral symbolism? For example, magicians often use rainbow roses in their flower-related performances to represent passion and romantic encounters.
Yo, who you hooking up with, Lenny?
But you used a Lumidu spell, which, if I'm not mistaken, allude to separations. I'm
He got a
curious to know if
divorce.
there was any deeper meaning behind this choice.
Impressive knowledge. It's no wonder you're such a successful journalist. But I'm afraid I don't know the first thing about floral symbolism. I'm just in the habit of using Lumidu spells in my magic.
How come?
It sounds like something I should look into, though. I'll buy myself a copy of Fontaine's Floral Language Facts when I have some time.
This flower's gonna have something to do with the
But it'll have
chapter.
to wait until this Phantom Weasel business is behind us.
Well noted. In
Well, don't
that
we want it
case,
right in
this
front of
brings
us
to the end of
so we
our
can solve it?
interview. I, for one, am looking forward to the final showdown between you and the thief. Please feel free to get in touch to update me on any further developments. Otherwise, I will, of course, see you at your show in 3 days' time. But let's hope the Phantom Weasel is caught by then.
What if he's gonna steal your camera?
If there's nothing else, I'll be off. You've given me lots to work with here, and I've got no time to lose if I want to write that exclusive piece. I'll see you all later.
Okay, bye, Charlotte. Make good choices.
So, Lenny, are you gonna tell us how you did that flower trick now?
A magician never reveals his secrets. That's why they're
I'm
not
afraid
trustworthy.
that's my little secret.
See?
Well, magicians are entitled to their secrets. But Paimon's really itching to know how it's done.
Don't scratch.
You feel it too, right? So itchy.
Phantom Weasel. Sure you'll be able to handle him?
Not so itchy then, huh?
No.
Well, since you're so concerned, how would you like to serve as my temporary magician's assistants and help me investigate?
Okay.
Magician's assistants? Oh, that sounds fun. Assistants are technically magicians too. Also,
Only if they're
it'll bring
really
us
a part of
one
the
step
act.
closer to figuring out how that darn trick is done. Shall we go for it?
That's the only trick that you want to know out of his whole entire repertoire? I'll help you with the investigation. What's your plan?
The first thing we need to look into is who Caesar really was. If he truly was the Phantom Weasel, that means that the Weasel is dead, and whoever wrote this warning letter is just a copycat criminal. But if he wasn't the Weasel? Well, that'll make things more interesting. It would mean that the Weasel lives, and he's been laying low all this time in some corner of Fontaine.
What if
And
Caesar
if we're
faked his death?
investigating Caesar, his fiancée Gemma is a good place to start.
What if Gemma's the
Word
real
is
one?
that she visits the cemetery often, so I asked Lynette to wait for her there. We should make a
Gemma
move.
killed her
Let's go and
fiance and
rendezvous
pinned
with
it all on
Lynette.
him. Okay, so you're gonna have 3 assistants, huh? A parting gift. A gift of parting. My bad. That's slightly different. Go to the cemetery and look for Gemma. How far is the cemetery and can we transport there? It's by Poisson. Let's teleport here because this is definitely above ground. If it was below ground, that might be a little bit more trouble. All right. Here we go. And we're gliding. We're gliding. We don't have anything else to say, so we're gliding. Hi, which one of you is Gemma? It's definitely not Lynette. We know that for sure. I'm guessing it's the woman, but I can't be 100%.
You took your time.
Sorry, I bumped into the Traveler and Charlotte en route, and we ended up chatting for a while.
Hi, Lynette.
It's been a while, Lynette. We're working as Lenny's temporary assistants in the investigation of the Phantom Weasel.
Hope you don't mind.
Thank you. It's good to have you helping.
Looks like she's happy.
So, what's the situation? Have you seen Gemma?
Nope. I've been here a while, and she still hasn't shown up.
Oh, so it isn't the
How
woman that's here.
bizarre. Maybe it was bad intel. Well, we
Maybe
won't
she
get anywhere
played
by
you.
standing around waiting. Traveler, Paimon, let's go ask around.
So do we gotta ask all 3 people? Ask around. Balthazar. Didn't you bring the frankincense to Jesus?
Excuse me, good sir.
Aren't you
Do
supposed to be
by any
black?
chance know a Gemma?
Gemma? You mean Caesar's fiance? Sure I do. What's this about?
I'm
She
just
might
trying
be a
to get
dirty
hold of
crook.
her because I need her help with something. I heard she comes here a lot.
Yeah, she does. Poor thing. It's no secret why either. She's heartsick. Ever since Caesar passed away, she's been coming here once every week to clean his grave. Often she just sits there in front of his headstone, lost in thought. Sometimes she talks to herself. I asked her what she
Nothing
was
wrong with
doing once. She said she wanted to speak to him again. She knows he's gone and can't hear her from the grave, but she just likes to spend time there, telling her fiancé all about how her life is going.
And she's been doing this ever since Caesar passed away? Oh, so 10 years. Wow. Their love must have been really strong.
Or it's
I'll
something
bet.
else.
Caesar's reputation fell apart after his identity was revealed, so no one else visits his grave. Gemma's the only one who still thinks about him after all these years. I don't know if the mind lives on in the waters after death, but if it does, I'm sure Caesar must be grateful to have someone who remembers him fondly. If I'm honest, I think this is all so unfair to poor Gemma. Her fiancé was a low-life crook. He doesn't deserve someone like her.
There's more to
Anyway,
this
all
story.
that said, she's running later than usual today. Normally, she'd be sitting in front of his grave by now. I wonder if she's okay. Well, that's
know the
everything
path
I
she
know,
takes?
I'm afraid. You might have more luck asking some other people.
Like the two over there. Over there. Are they the other
All
two
right,
wise
well,
men?
thanks for sharing all of this with us. We'll keep asking around.
You're welcome.
To be honest, I don't know
just
the
hope
name
she'll
of
be
any
able
other
to
wise
move
men.
on one day.
Just Balthazar. Okay, I don't think the other two wise men's name were Gracia or Giuliano.
Did you hear the news? They're saying the Phantom Weasel's back.
Oh,
You're
gossip
kidding.
at the graveyard.
Wait, isn't he dead?
Yeah, he's right over there.
I don't know anymore. All sorts of news flying around nowadays. I can never tell what's true and what isn't.
Welcome to Twitter.
But what if, just hypothetically, I mean, what if this weasel's the real deal and Caesar was framed?
Called it.
Dun dun dun.
Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, you know
Self.
what? This guy's been set up. The Caesar I knew was a good guy. He gave balloons to children on the street, for Pete's sake.
And then
What,
stole
are we
them
supposed to believe that
afterwards.
he was a balloon thief or something? Give me a break.
Oh, he could be a balloon thief.
Please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced the news? You were all, "Oh, that gosh darn lousy son of a, you think you know a guy," or words to that effect.
Oh,
Wait, did I
you
say that?
two-faced.
I don't seem to recall.
It's because you two-faced. You forgot you're the face. Sorry to interrupt.
Hello there. Sorry for disturbing you, but I couldn't help but notice you were discussing the Phantom Weasel. We're actually quite interested in this topic as well, but we're struggling to get to the bottom of it. Do you think you could spare a moment to tell us a little bit about Caesar?
If you please.
You've come to the right people. Yep, I was there. Back when Caesar used to perform magic tricks on the street. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a transparent balloon, only for a whole bunch of doves to fly out from the inside.
Whoa.
I was right up close and didn't blink or look away once. But for the life of me, I still don't have the faintest clue how he pulled it off. Really incredible stuff.
I saw him perform too. He always used to bring some gifts along for the kids who came to watch his show, and he'd hand them out after he was done.
Gifts that he had
Sometimes
stole from
he
others.
even got the kids to write their wishes down, and then he'd make the items on the wish list appear in his next show.
Sounds like he
doesn't
was
sound
stocking
like
up.
Such a bad guy.
But after he died, there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was precious to people, with the intent to steal it later.
But
As I'm sure you
Wasn't he
know,
bringing
the
it
Phantom
to them?
Weasel would steal just about anything from anyone.
Whatever the case, now that the weasel is back, Caesar's become a hot topic once more.
I want to sing the
bet
Hot
Gemma
Pocket
must be
jingle while saying the
pleased.
Hot Topic.
If Caesar's name gets cleared, maybe it'll finally give her some solace after all this time.
I'm just going to do it.
No, speak
Hot
of the devil.
Topic.
That's her over there. If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
She finally showed up. It only took till morning.
So that's Gemma. Is it just Paimon, or does it look like something's wrong? Wait, it looks like she's injured. Come on, let's see if she's okay.
Was she fall on her way over? And we don't have to do anything. It just goes straight to the next cutscene. Okay.
Hi there. You're Gemma, right?
Who's asking?
Paimon.
Don't be afraid, we mean no harm.
Yeah.
It looks like you're injured. How bad is it?
Thanks for your concern, but you didn't answer my question.
Cold?
Who are you, and what do you want with me?
My name is Linny, and this is my sister Lynette.
I'm the Traveler, and Paimon is Paimon.
This here's the Traveler. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
The Weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If he still lives, that means that Caesar was falsely accused. You knew Caesar better than anyone else. So if you're willing, we'd love to hear what you think about all this.
What's wrong?
I promise you can trust us. We won't hurt you. In fact, we'll do all we can to keep you safe.
I never believed that he was the Weasel.
Okay. I believe you.
Huh. I suspected as much. Okay, so going back 10 years, do you remember anything strange in the weeks leading up to the accident? Did Caesar have a falling out with anyone, for instance?
No, not that I know of.
Got it. All right. Sorry for
I
disturbing
picked up
you.
on something. So did Lenny. He's just being more quiet about it.
If you don't have any more questions, please leave. I want to be alone with him.
This is kind of sad.
Judging by the look on her face, there's definitely something fishy about her.
She's lying. She definitely knows something.
Perhaps she simply doesn't trust us.
That's fair. We're just a bunch of strangers who showed up and started questioning her about things that happened a whole decade ago.
We told her that Paimon
It
was
makes sense
Paimon.
that she'd be wary around us. In any case, I doubt we'll get any further here, so let's call it a day. Meet me outside Hotel de Boer tomorrow, and then we'll start the next step of our plan.
All right, so that's part 1 done. Wait till 8 o'clock. Said the next day, right? Next morning, yeah. Which means all the way around. That works. And we just watch as time passes us by. Is that the Fortress of Meripede? Alright, where we go now? Rendezvous with Lenny. Alright, so we rendezvous about back where we saw him earlier. Seems more like where we saw Charlotte than where we saw him. Oh, no, not even.
Over here.
Yeah, I saw you.
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us.
Probably not.
So, we need a contingency plan.
Where should we start?
Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo, Caesar's former pupil and assistant. When
It was
Caesar
him.
passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owners. But Lorenzo was the only one privy to all his magic secrets, and he inherited his craft. Before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town.
Got the competition out of the way.
Surpassing even that of his master, and it made him very wealthy. He's since left the magic scene, though, and these days, he's a wealthy businessman with his fingers in a lot of different pies.
Whoa!
I had to pull a lot of strings, but I managed to get him to agree
This
to a
better be
couple of
consenting
drinks with me.
pies.
Be warned, though. I hear he's got a hair-triggered temper. We'd best be careful.
I think I care about its temper. Paimon will definitely say something to piss him off. Oh, Lorenzo is in here. Enter the Hotel de Boer. The broad? The board? I didn't even see him.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants.
How could you have a
When
problem
they
with
heard that I
Paimon?
was meeting with the former magic
It's
maestro
more like
himself,
1.5 extra
they
people.
begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no trouble, a couple of autographs would really make their day.
Oh, forget the pleasantries. Just sit.
Paimon doesn't really sit. She just kind of floats there. See? Just floats there.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy about Linny stroking his ego.
Whoa!
I only agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor and cut to the chase. I have more important things to do than drinking.
That's
Much
good. Means you're not an
obliged, sir.
alcoholic, right?
As it happens, the matter I want to address is also related to magic. Yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning something for the same evening that I'm scheduled to do a magic show there. As such, I believe that I may
I
well
bet
be
Lorenzo
his
doesn't want to be
target.
upstaged.
I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the Weasel starts with a few questions about Caesar, who...
What is there to investigate? Caesar
Deflecting.
was the Weasel, and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing.
You're the
Are you
sick
trying
creep.
to tell me you actually bought it?
Didn't you sell
Please,
it?
sir, no need to get so worked up. I do concede that a copycat is but one possibility.
Possibility? It's a fact, Linny. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you. The
Whoa.
Weasel is dead.
No, you're not.
Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you nowhere. Look, if this affects your magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any losses.
No, you won't.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me. My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet their challenge head on.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me, what exactly are you seeking to do?
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to know for myself what really happened 10 years ago.
You're looking at him.
That accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals their secrets. And in any case, dead men don't talk. So if you really care about your magician's pride, then you'll forget about Caesar and move on.
Why do you not want it to be uncovered?
Oh, this is
Phantom
getting awkward.
Weasel.
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you! I know that big, booming
I just noticed the
voice
chef
anywhere.
machine in the back
What's
stirring.
up, my man?
I'm
Wanna
hypnotized
grab a
by it.
drink with me?
I don't even
Another
care about the
day,
drunk
I'm
dude.
busy.
Oh, come on! You can't be all business all the
Lorenzo, move your head.
time.
I can't see the robot
You know
stirring the
what they
pot.
say? Live fast, die young. You gotta learn how to kick back and relax once in a while.
Lorenzo,
If
your
I
head is still
wanted
in the
your
way.
life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out of my face and go be drunk somewhere else.
In the
Sorry,
morning.
my good sir. I don't believe I've had
It
the
is the
pleasure.
morning.
Oh, hey!
Armando.
Edmondo. He and I are business pals. We worked together a bunch of times. This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this.
Change the camera angle, I can't see the robot.
Hard nose. Never heard a kind word out of this guy the whole time I've known him.
There we
He wonders
go.
why he can't get a girlfriend,
buddy.
despite being
Stir.
what? Pushing 40, 30, something. Anyway, point is, a lot.
Oh, yeah, I bet he can't get a
older
girlfriend
than
with his
when
bad
he
attitude.
first
Keeps
got
stirring the
rejected
robot.
by the girl he was into. And he's still into, from what I hear.
Shut up and get out of my
He
face.
likes
Another
Gemma.
word out of you and you can forget about doing business with
Where'd
me
the
ever
robot go?
again. Do I make myself clear?
That's not the robot. That's just a woman.
Sorry,
Show me the
I
robot.
may have had a little too much to drink. All right.
Oh, he sobered up quick.
I'm gonna leave. Don't work too hard.
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Linny, be my guest.
You really want to investigate it, Lorenzo?
But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather
There he is again.
spectacular fashion.
Go, robot, go.
Any thoughts?
There's something strange about him.
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses? Why would someone you just met make an offer like that? He's got to be hiding something.
He
and
definitely
not like
is.
Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
Uh-huh. I agree.
think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more closely. That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left. Let's see if we can catch up with him.
Oh, I think we can. I think we should. There's two! Far away. You know, I should probably continue on with the story. I'll be back for you guys. Let's go find Edmundo. I thought I gotta leave those robots. This way. Edmundo! What do you guys tell us about? Yeah, he's sobering up. Which may be a problem for us, because we want information.
You okay there?
Who are you?
You just met us.
Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about me. I must have had one too many.
Or five.
I just need to ride it out. I said way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete financial ruin. Note to self, no more drunken chats when Lorenzo's around.
Well, now he's not around, so keep
He
talking.
was serious about threatening to cut you off? Ugh, Paimon knew he was a bad egg.
He was a rotten one.
Hey, keep your voice down.
Ooh,
Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs.
because they're messy.
Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions or make an enemy out of him.
What
Well,
kind
we
of
need to
bad
do just
things?
that.
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short. I'm not crossing that line again.
Come on, cross it.
And take it from me, trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You
I can
saw
say
him
good.
Flare up back there. I don't know what you said to him, but clearly it touched a nerve.
I wasn't
That's
touching
not a good
anything.
sign. You're too young for this. Don't get in over your head. I'm leaving.
Okay. Make sure you find a good spot that's not in people's walkway to throw up.
And there he goes. What do we do now, Lenny?
Shh. I think we're being watched. Someone was listening in to our whole conversation. Don't say
It's the Men in
anything.
Black.
Don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We'd better take this elsewhere.
Where'd he go? Get out of the city and lure out the people tailing you. This is a ways out. I mean, of course I could teleport out of there, but it's that exact same time. Dang, shy. This way. All right, here we go. We're gonna fight them, right?
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today?
It's the
Save
mob.
us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister.
Oh no, the tone of his voice is actually kind of soothing. So.
Save your questions, missy. You ain't
Painter
gonna
De
need
Niro?
answers where you're going. Capiche?
Your voice isn't
Looks
as
like
pleasant.
we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Yeah, I'm ready. I got friends too.
Don't worry, we got this.
Now disappear!
Stabilize!
Excuse me. Let me switch back to Lenny. Headshot. 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 Not a headshot, but take it down easily. Headshot. Ooh. That was kind of nice.
Curses. Tougher than we thought.
Yeah, take that smooth
Vision
face
wielders are
Pacino.
always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the
How
lady.
many other celebrities are you named after?
Let's scram.
I mean, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
Wise guys, we ain't through with you yet!
Yeah, get your butts back here.
Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else.
They ain't gonna screw with us
They
no
just
more.
wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who?
Could it be Gemma?
You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide.
But if those are Lorenzo's goons, and Lorenzo likes Gemma, I don't think that
Maybe she was too scared
he would
to
send
tell
them
us the
to
truth because
rough
those
her
guys
up.
had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore.
Yeah.
Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
All right. Was there a reason why we had to come all the way out here of all places? Because now we just got to go all the way back into town like this. I mean, it's quite a back and forth. I mean, luckily we could just teleport, so it makes things easy. But if we actually had to walk the whole way, ugh. Excuse me, Ethan. Under that umbrella. And here we go. We're sitting in silence. The two of you seem kind of alike.
Gemma?
You again?
Yes,
What
us
is
again.
it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine.
How do we know that they've been threatening her?
You
Really,
can
though.
relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Oh, so that's what happened.
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly.
Mm-hmm.
I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being.
Udebito.
It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can
Definitely
trust
Lorenzo's men.
Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all?
I mean, think about it.
Why are you doing this?
Think about it this way. They've been saying, stop looking into his death all this time, which means he didn't do it. And the fact that she's looking into it could uncover it, which is what their boss doesn't want. But when you got men like that, they take some money, especially to keep quiet. And Lorenzo is a very wealthy businessman. So it's Lorenzo.
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word. Trust me.
Okay. How can I help you?
Tell us everything
I've
you know.
heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since.
I doubt that.
I also know that the Fleuve Sonde is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're serious about going there, please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
Makes sense.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. All right. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, so now we got to go to the workshop, which is Huh. On a different level.
Fast.
But how much of a different level? Very much a different level. How do I dum? In other words, get low. Wait, why am I doing it like this? Mona is more efficient with moving fast. What's the best way to go about this? Where's the elevator? I don't know where the elevator is. Let's just... Oh. Going down. On good angle. Ooh.
My reckoning.
Oh no.
Has come.
I handled that poorly. I didn't realize I was going to be hitting that.
Life goes on.
I do have a waypoint down here. I should have just taken it. But, you know. Wait, it's over this way? Dang it. I'm not fully healed yet. Lizard! Got it. Over here.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first.
You helped Lenny move the boxes aside. Looks like no one else has been here in a long time.
Go. It should be just down here.
Ah, what do you know? A little hatch. Mona, please heal up more. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Oh, look what we got here. It's a domain. Sorry, Mona. I'm getting rid of you for...
I charge a higher rate to meet outside the office.
Dang it, we're going to get charged for this? All right, explore the workshop. All right, up, right, left, right. Oh. Sorry. I was rather sloppy with it, wasn't I? Mix.
So this was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further.
How do you know they're normal? Continuing deeper. Balloon. What'd you fill up the balloons with to the fact that they're still floating? That's just odd.
What was that? Oh.
Jack in the Box.
Is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting trap. And what do we got here?
Solidify.
You guys little toy mechanisms?
Wheel of life.
Excuse me. Let me just do this to you. And you're gone. Next, you.
Boom, boom!
Wait. Wait.
Stabilize.
There we go. I like the extra damage those things do.
Look, the doll in the box is glowing.
They're floating. Wait, where all this damage for Lenny come from?
Here's
Wish list. I'd like a little dove. I want a robot with cool powers. No, you need your parents' permission to own a pet, and you also need to take good care of it. I brought a fluffy toy dove for you this time. If you're ready to own a pet, I'll make a real dove appear for you next time. Caesar. What about this one? I want a bucket of fried chicken that never runs out. I'd like a new bag. Note, there's no such thing as fried chicken that never runs out. Just as there's no such thing as children who never grow up. Also, eating too much fried food is bad for you. Make sure to pair it with something healthy, like a salad, alright? Caesar. He really cared about these kids. This pathway is just blocked. We must take detour. I want to keep playing as Linny for the most part during all this. How do we make it go? Oh. How come I didn't have the start option earlier? Wait, which side are we gonna have to go out of? I think we just rise up in the middle of the floor. We do. Is there anything else we have to see?
Looks like we've reached the end of this route.
Nope.
Shall we try a different one?
Sure, Paimon.
These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Uh-huh. They're the one to be floating. So his own attack does damage to him, huh? I hate that. Never mind. Lenny's not as dope as I thought. Watching.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just opened up a bit of vaults. Hold up, is there more things to see around here? We haven't seen a single chest yet. Which is rather disappointing if you ask me. But also, it's not like there needs to be chests mixed into these. Just a nice little extra present that you get.
Hip.
I wanted to jump and go hip again. So I could follow it up with a hooray. You know, hip hip hooray. It just didn't work out. All right. What's happening now?
That's weird. Have we reached the end already?
Doubt it. Oh. I forgot that
There's nothing
I turned
here.
off auto.
Maybe this was a wasted trip.
Linny, what are you looking at?
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere. Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... and... presto.
That seems too basic, though.
A secret passageway! How did you know?
Because it's the cliche.
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike. Looks
You
pretty
think like
big
a lot of
inside.
people then.
Let's head in and take a look around.
All right. What do we find inside? Finally, a chest! Holy crap. All right, keep going up higher. More fights? Well, I'd love to.
Solidify!
A round of applause.
Goes me. That wasn't as nice as I thought it would be.
Voila!
Excuse me. I freeze you. I freeze you too. Excuse me, do you have a camera on your face? Okay. An obvious chest. And hold up. Is there anything up here? Nope. Alright, let's go for the obvious. What is that? Exquisite? Yes, it's exquisite chest. And then we keep moving forward. Start. We saw it the first time, this time. Looks like the hallway goes this way. Actually, it's probably not a hallway. Hello!
Gather!
Incinerate! It's time for your arraignment!
Yeah, I don't like that hurts him. I mean, it does a lot of damage when it does the follow-up, but still, I don't like that it hurts him. Oh, wait. Does the cat have to do the final hit in order to get your health back? Okay, that makes things a little bit better, but then it's got to get the final hit.
Is there some device in that box?
Are there spikes in that box?
It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
What if you get lost in the box, though? Don't get lost in the box, Lenny. Please. Alright, I guess we're going up, up, and around. Activate all the magic steps without stepping the same step twice. Oh, and you can't step off it either. Let's see, what would be the best way to do this? I want that one in the middle to come back to me. Get ready for the corner. Aha! We got it. We just need this one to come back. Get it. Is there a better pattern to do that than what I did? Ooh. I was supposed to say, am I going to have to do it again now with a different pattern? No. That door opens. Sesame. Investigate the hidden room.
Wow! There's a hidden room here!
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, this bookcase is full of Caesar's own notes. He wrote a lot about the principles of magic. Whew. Much too advanced for Paimon.
I bet.
Hey, look! Is that Caesar's diary on the table?
Perhaps we'll speak of the perpetrator.
This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
All right. Am I going to have to read? About the wish lists.
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat.
And what'd you say?
As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted.
Aww.
Boy, are my legs sore. I wound up saving very little this month. But that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat?
About the children studying magic.
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. I do hope they got home safely. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these 2.
It's gotta be Lenny and Lynette.
I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew.
Lenny
They
Lynette?
seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down.
About Lorenzo's issues.
It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed.
And about the farewell.
It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the 2 kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission.
It's Lenny and Lynette.
Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. I guess we'll be parting ways soon.
Aw.
It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. They're not like other children. It's a shame that I can't do more to help them. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods, and that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other. I bet they've already forgotten every word I said. Oh, Caesar, Caesar. Just mind your own business next time.
There was no next time. Stop reading.
2 magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh?
Yeah, sounds very familiar.
Sounds a lot like he was writing about Lenny and Lynette, don't you think?
That's exactly who he was writing about.
So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Lenny.
No interjections from us? Lenny! We found your inspiration from when you were a kid. Lenny? Oh, he's still there. I was suspecting him to have disappeared inside the box or something.
Lenny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Like?
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed.
Why?
First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then
So what actually happened to Caesar?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking.
Theoretically speaking? What do you mean?
The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy.
That's what I was thinking. Pretty sure his
He fell
trick
right
would have
to the
worked.
ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what it could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh?
Probably in his practice it's worked.
Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it.
I don't think it is that dangerous.
Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional degree of showmanship. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter of a mesmerizing magic trick. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician, but unfortunately, even he didn't manage to pull it off.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
He was killed.
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And, sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay.
This box is on the left side.
There.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here. Which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation at hand.
So they focus on
But
his
a
right hand that
magician
they think is
needs
his
to be
dominant
able
hand.
to redirect an audience's attention at will, so as to avoid arousing their suspicion.
Okay, but whose
The
will?
essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices. But
Sounds like a
in
drag.
his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left.
Maybe someone exploited that fact against him.
Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't there. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was due to his own error.
When in reality, someone switched the boxes.
Lorenzo.
And they did it to murder him.
Lorenzo.
But how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult to pull off, no?
Not they're the assistant?
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion.
His assistant.
Someone who was always by his side.
His assistant.
Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
Ah, he's
Just
here.
couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you?
Nip.
There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago.
That you killed 10 years
I
ago.
didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with.
Oh, so you think you could do
I
it?
gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but you disappoint me.
Why?
You
You're the
mean
disappointment.
Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her.
Scumbag.
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just wouldn't drop it.
You hated Lenny when he was a kid.
You can't leave this place alive. Take them out and make it quick.
Ah, like they could. We've already beat them.
Worst.
Yeah, we already beat them once. Oh, you added a animatronic dog to it. Ooh, how scary.
Now disappear!
Wait, where's the health? It's not coming back.
Here comes the finale.
Oh no, another big animatronic thing. Not scared.
Life goes on. Boom, boom! Inadmissible evidence!
Can you stop shooting me? It's annoying. Doesn't hurt, it's just annoying.
Motion to compel.
Oh, I see. His E heals him.
Round of applause.
Got him. What do you think you run into, chump? That's a heavy card.
You kids are tougher than you look.
Had
And you're
enough
as weak
yet,
as you look.
Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now.
They never could.
I
Nothing
think it's
against
high
us.
time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a Mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it.
He had a fiance and he always did
Poured
things for kids.
everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him. Never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life to the art of deception and never has a Mora to show for it?
Someone that cares about the
People
children.
loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. All I ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he?" Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me nothing more than the life I already had.
So you killed him? Why didn't you just leave?
He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated more than that.
Oh, so you're just an
with his
a-hole through and through.
reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it
And
alone.
he knew it.
As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic, he would expose me, and it would destroy me.
Good.
I had to kill him.
Bad.
There was no other way.
Bad
He had to
Lorenzo.
go.
Well, now you're going away for murder.
This was your only motive?
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
You like Gemma?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
Boom.
Love with Gemma. Don't be ridiculous.
Ah, that stutter. It's true.
Guess I was wrong about that then.
Oh.
Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am.
Knew it.
Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way.
Yours is definitely the wrong
The
way.
purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world.
Not the sole purpose, but it's the great purpose.
I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
But I heard the Phantom Weasel stole from the rich and the poor alike.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
Well, he stole Caesar's life,
That's
so
just
this
how
isn't
it looked
surprising.
from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
So that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all over again during your trial.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. What else can I do?
Stand trial.
So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end this way, but I regret nothing.
You're
Very
a murderer.
well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
Okay. So, precious chest, and we leave.
Lily has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience.
Only took you 10 years and a
What
loss.
kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it. Because there'll be hell to pay.
Come on, just read him his Miranda rights.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
And she'll be happy to hear that
We should go tell Gemma
Caesar
the good
is
news
cleared
right
of all
away.
charges.
It'll give her some peace of mind for sure.
All right, let's teleport up out of here. And yeah. So are we not going to get to see the show?
Okay, faster.
They hadn't moved at all. How long have they been sitting here? We're back.
Ah, you're back.
Yeah,
You were so
we are.
quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third one.
Your third?
Look at his stomach ache.
Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
What time is it
It's
even?
fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now. But try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Yep, Lorenzo's turned over to the authorities.
Lorenzo is no match for us. The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I still didn't know if I could trust you, but now it seems I can.
Wait, did you know it was Lorenzo? Because you don't seem surprised when we said
I
Lorenzo.
had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but I
feel like she should start with Lorenzo.
Okay, we understand.
Not made it like the third
Threaten
sentence.
you. Paimon would find it hard to trust strangers in your position too. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now.
Understandable.
I've been waiting for this day to come for so long.
Well, it's
I always
finally
wanted
here.
to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't
Which
risk
is also
looking into it.
suspicious.
I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me. And then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So I never had the courage to speak out. Thank you all.
Well, we got you covered.
Truly. Thank you so much.
At Lenny's suggestion, everyone goes to the cemetery to announce Lorenzo's arrest and hold a memorial for Caesar.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel.
I guess at the moment
Never
we met
showed
him.
any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got along great.
On the inside, Lorenzo couldn't wait to kill him.
Living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
What would you have done?
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
About something that wouldn't have been in your control at all.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
How did you know?
Caesar's honor? Really? Oh, thank you. I'll be there.
Great.
Couldn't have been in his
tomorrow
honor
evening.
before this whole
Traveler,
case.
Paimon, don't be late.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show. Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something. Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Linny and Lynette or not.
They were.
Linny changed the topic back in the workshop, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to ask Linny tomorrow evening.
Are we really going to ask him? And does Charlotte had the scoop? I'm going to teleport over here because if we're going to be seeing it at the opera, well, we might want to be at the opera. Wait, what time are we going to go to? All right, 6 p.m. the next day. And there goes time. Bye-bye time. All right. I was right. We need to be at the opera. To the opera we go. Bird! Foul me. All right. Come on, let's get there. We need to go higher. Oh, we keep running out of stamina. Go in. Into the opera auditorium. We must watch this performance. Then he's going to do the magic trick that Caesar failed to do. Not because he actually failed, but because he was killed by Lorenzo. What a jerk. I'm glad he's getting locked up. Are we going to be watching his trial after this? Wait, why is Lynette sitting in the chair? Shouldn't she be assisting? Oh, there's Charlotte.
Paimon's excited to see another of Linny's magic shows. Wait. Lynette, shouldn't you be on stage by now?
That's what I said.
Not this time. My brother's going solo today. So I'll be watching with you.
So hopefully he doesn't get killed by his assistant, like Caesar.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Lynette wouldn't do that.
Everybody's ready because the show is about to begin. The great magician Linny has prepared a spectacular show for us all tonight, concluding with an all-new grand finale that no audience has ever seen before.
Successfully.
Thank you all so much
It's
for
obvious what
coming.
he's doing.
Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Lenny wows the audience with his skill that we don't get to see.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
She looks like she's about to cry,
It reminds me of him.
which is why she looks like she's about to cry.
Caesar was a famous magician too. So, how did you two first meet, Gemma?
Was it after a magic show?
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too. So I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
Flower?
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head.
What flower was it?
I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
No previous boyfriend?
Oh, that's so cute. Actually, now that you mention it, Lenny's done that one before.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like Caesar.
Wait, Lenny was hitting on us?
So let's treasure the time we have with him. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be gone.
Don't be sad. The killer has been caught.
That's right. It's all over now. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on. You can breathe easy at last, right?
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now, Phantom Weasel.
Ah.
Even Lynette says... Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't like this riddle. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something!
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most electrifying act of tonight's show, the one we've all been waiting for. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon. Let's talk somewhere else for now.
I did guess early on that she might be the Phantom Weasel. I just said that Lorenzo killed her. Actually, no, I did call him Phantom Weasel. But her being the Phantom Weasel, I do think makes more sense. That they're not actually connected. Well, they're connected, but not same person connected.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood. This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now, who wants to hear a story?
Ooh.
Lenny, don't we have more important things to address right now? Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment ago.
Paimon, Lenny's gonna tell us the story. I want to hear the story. Hush.
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really?
Do it.
Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's dying of curiosity here!
No, don't die,
Let's go back
Paimon.
to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine, she never missed a target, never left a trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day, she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
Doesn't match up with Caesar's character at all, though.
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all. At
You didn't
her
deserve him.
encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. 2 co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
So no change of heart.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought this on, Linny? Is it something that Lorenzo said?
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his confession, as if there was something else he was trying to hide.
Or someone he was trying to cover for.
So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
Actually, it's a distrust of Lorenzo that made him say,
A magician
oh, this isn't
is an
right.
expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in on it?
Yep.
But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
They're secret
Yes,
lovers.
Why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right?
Does
Well, don't
Lorenzo
let
have
me
loved
bore
ones?
you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people? Could you shed any light on that?
She's a sociopath?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we? If
really.
I had to guess, I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible childhood. Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true. And it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Also sounds pretty nonsensical
now it
to
all
me.
makes sense.
Does this story satisfy
It makes
you,
sense,
Linny?
but not
Yes, it is
with
quite
her
to my
mind.
tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
So, what was with the warning letter?
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you trying to achieve there? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. But it seems like someone still wasn't ready to let her finally be at peace. Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House. But why?
Because he's one of the two kids.
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of
Why would he
course
need
we
to?
did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago? You mean Caesar's death?
Yes.
You met him?
They were the two kids.
Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been so long, and you're all grown up now. I didn't recognize you. He taught you magic back then, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why? Because you feel like you still owe him something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. 10 years on, and no one cares what the truth is anymore. But we did not forget, and so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still
Your freedom.
standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has admitted to everything. I'm free.
You just admitted everything now.
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, we must find our own truth. I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value, fervent hopes and dreams, and irreplaceable people. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night, stealing became your way of numbing the pain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. But what did he have to gain from all that? He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know, deep down, that he is the only truth you have in your life. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Oh, you struck a nerve.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods. I do hope you'll be able to bear it. You've still got a long life ahead of you after all.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Lenny to perform his final act in tonight's show. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well, wonder no more, for the answer is a death-defying high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
10 years ago. The trick that Caesar died attempting.
I'm sure you
That was
all remember
obvious.
the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
Falsely.
We have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crime.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever? You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today. Maybe then you'll finally understand.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So, what are we, doing now?
Watching the finale.
Like Lenny said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
But what about Gemma?
Forget about
She'll figure
Gemma.
out
She's
what's
scum.
best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lenny after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
All right. Well, let's go and watch Lenny's finale then. This trick's a pretty dangerous one, but he should be able to pull it off, right?
As long as no one tampers. New mail. From Yoimiya Holding Stars. Not even gonna bother reading. Alright, let's go finish this. I'm coming, Lenny. I'm coming. Why does it keep saying higher? Hey, Lynette joined him.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Lenny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished, right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show. This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale. It will make a great headline for the Steambird tomorrow, even if I do say so myself.
Whew. Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale.
Even though they don't know the full story.
Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual hunt. But, where is that?
The cemetery?
Oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Linny's way of saying goodbye to Caesar. So it makes sense that that's where he'd be afterward. Alright, let's go look for him there.
Alright. This should be the last part of this story, right? A lot of back and forthing right now. Yeah, how horrible. I don't like their happiness, so I'm going to steal everything from everybody that I see. Oh, what a kind man. Let me approach him and make him my patsy. And then let him get killed by egging on his assistant. Like, really? Maybe you could try finding happiness with him? Your fiancé? I mean, come on. There's nothing good about you.
Linny! There you are. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horribly wrong.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. So I tweaked Caesar's original setup a little to keep it fresh.
Heck is a
I was
tenterhook.
honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling weightless, seeing the sky and the ground spinning and spinning. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on?
Should have.
Or did he believe that it was his own slip-up right until the end?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about
I don't think he
something
thought it
ever
was his own
since we were
slip-up.
in Caesar's workshop. You learned magic from Caesar once, didn't you? When was that?
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him.
An agenda?
I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performers. I'd watch their tricks and try to figure out how they were done. But I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance, but the rigorous training they put in behind the scenes remained invisible to me. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and make niftier props. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a professional magician, we quickly plateaued.
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes, we figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise that he was so willing to teach us. In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. By contrast, we hid so many things from him. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, I answered, "It's my passion." But in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then betrayed soon after, this was no longer about me doing what I loved. What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating over whether to tell him the truth. Trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly, I'd forgotten how to trust by then.
Lenny.
I don't blame you. That wasn't your fault.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a gentle soul, aren't you? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the house of the hearth, lies and selfishness have followed me and Lynette everywhere we go. After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death, and was now declared to be the Phantom Weasel. That night, I remembered his smile. But as I lay there, I didn't know what to say to him. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. But I guess that's the price we have to pay. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma. Because I felt it for myself.
Don't be sad. We're in your auditorium. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, cheer up, Lenny. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey, too. But whatever happens, Paimon always believes in what tomorrow brings. Delicious food, fun toys, and the traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to focus on things like this, and all the unhappy stuff goes right out the window. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kind of make you Paimon's truth?
Yes, you better hope nothing happens to me.
It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest thing each other has in the world, and nothing can replace that. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's what gave us the strength to get through the darkest days. That's why the darkness never consumed me, and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we remember every precious ray of light that shines through. All right, time to lighten this conversation up a little. What did you think of the show tonight? Were you happy with it?
I only got to see one trick.
Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. We spent most of our time in the Opera House just talking and pretty much missed the entire first half of the show. Lenny, could you do just one more trick for us?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid.
You don't even know what the trick she's asked for is.
Finished, so my sleeves are decidedly card-free right now.
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something. The Lenny Paimon knows can do anything if he puts his mind to it.
Buttering him up,
All
huh?
right, then. I'll give it a go, but only because it's you. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going along with this!
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me. Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere else.
Really?
Exact same spot.
See.
Dots.
Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different flower from the last time, right? This one's called, oh yeah, a rainbow rose. But more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done. Please, Lenny, pretty please!
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by addressing me as teacher.
Nah, we're good.
Fine. Please,
Paimon.
teacher, please!
Paimon just had to give in.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot solely rely on others being prepared to reveal their secrets. You have to observe, think, and find the answers for yourself.
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I bid you both good night. I look forward to seeing you again.
All right, fine. See ya.
At least Paimon was able to accept it.
Oh, Paimon can't wait to read the Steambird tomorrow. Paimon bets Linny and Caesar will be plastered all over it. Let's head to the Steambird's offices tomorrow morning and see what we can find out.
Is this going to stretch on longer? Holy crap, it's been over 2 hours. Wait till 8 o'clock the next morning. Confirm. Maybe we'll see news about Gemma in the newspaper. All right, and over here. And down we go.
Neither do I.
How much damage did we just take?
Sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Linny, I'll only take a moment of your time. If you would be so kind.
What if he doesn't want to be kind?
What's happening here?
They're rejecting an interview.
All night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was going to go to print this morning. But just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the guards and confessed to having been the real Phantom Weasel all along.
That was quick.
What?
Too late, bro.
That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Please, fill me in.
Whoops.
Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma turning herself in must have something to do with Linny's performance last night.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the voice of her conscience.
Huh. Okay, then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole years?
Well...
Good question. Charlotte's journalistic spirit is burning red. We're gonna have to distract her somehow.
Oh, I remember now. You and Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. What happened between you? Quickfire question. Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Linny did a private magic trick just for us. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon, guess what? Linny started using rainbow roses in his tricks.
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just,
What now? Oh, did Paimon say something wrong again? This is getting pretty awkward. What do we do, Traveler?
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never mind. There's always next time. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. The news about Gemma has already made waves, and I'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it all. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time.
Don't give it to her.
There's clearly a web of complicated relationships there. Can't blame me for being curious.
They shouldn't let her have her wish.
I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in
Screw her
peace.
wish.
Bye for now.
She want to live bitter, she gets to continue to live bitter.
Paimon didn't mean to.
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Oh,
Good work.
really? Oh, thank goodness. You scared Paimon there.
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both. At least it did the job, right?
Sure.
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
And quest completes. And with that, I guess we could say that'll be it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, Deuces.
So I wrote it in the rhyme. The Reverend Doctor got an 8K, wet working. Roaches get the race spray. My weak rhyme, my body, your best verses on game day. I touch the crowns of self-entitled kings. You leave the heat like LeBron when I melt your idols' vital things. This is Malcolm and Martin, Million Man March in Sparta, mixed with a legion of angels surrounding sons and daughters. Simon Peter with a desert eagle, waving it at Caesar. So if I was you, I probably wouldn't mention me either.